Yeah, sounds
to
good.
clarify.
Thank you,
Okay.
Maria.
All right, let's get started. Thank you everyone for joining the RH committee meeting on May 29. Next slide. And we are a community focused on the open source licensed projects, securing data in use, and accelerating the adoption of confidential computing through open collaboration. Every member is welcome, and every project meeting our criteria is welcome. We are a transparent and collaborative community. We, as a member, contributors, and leaders, pledge to make participations in our community a harassment-free experience for everybody. And as you know, CCC is under Linux Foundation and operated with antitrust policy. So this is a notice of that. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Rian or Helen. And today we're going to go over quick open. I have a guest here joining us to go over something. I'll do a quick CC Summit preview that's happening next week, and quick touch up on the open CFPs and upcoming events that CCC is participating. And lastly, we can wrap up the brand repositioning discussion a little bit more and how can outreach support. I do not think that we meet quorum just yet. No, so okay, so I'm gonna have Purnima speak a little bit on what she's here to talk about and just to seeking some source for her upcoming feature that she's working on. So please take it away.
Thank you, Kate. Hi, everyone. It's nice to meet you, and I'm really appreciative of this audience. Thank you for that, Kate. So as Kate mentioned, I am a freelance technology writer. I'm an engineer by training. And I came to know of the Confidential Computing Consortium because through Intel's Insight.tech platform, which I write for very frequently. And as it so happens, I am working on a feature story about in the integration of AI in healthcare for an online magazine called IT Pro Today. And one of the topics that this feature will discuss is confidential computing and how it kind of addresses the challenges of data security. So in trying to find a source for this feature, I reached out to Kate and she suggested that I make my pitch at this meeting to see if you all had any ideas for who might be a good source and potentially whether anybody would be even interested in talking to me as a reporter for IT Pro Today on just the broad, it's going to be a very broad strokes application of confidential computing. Like, what is it? How does it help healthcare, data, security, that kind of stuff. So it's not like going into the weeds as much because the whole article is kind of a broad sweep. So given that, I was wondering if anybody had any ideas on whom I could talk to, who might be able to share their opinions.
Yeah, and especially the companies that has the use cases in healthcare related, I think that would be also helpful to be a source for this feature.
Yes, so I have in writing about confidential computing before, I believe I have talked with Fortanix, who's an Intel partner, and they came readily to mind, but if you all had any other ideas, I'm kind of open to that as well.
So does it, a quick question, does it have to be an AI related per se, or just computational computing?
So the topic, that's a good point. Yeah, I think the topic is about AI. The overall theme of the topic is AI in healthcare. And then, so I'm assuming that, yes, that it would have to be at that intersection with AI,
Okay.
but even
So
if
just
someone can, like, yeah, go ahead.
no, I was about to say we had a project, actually deployment with AstraZeneca, which is as
Oh.
from a pharmaceutical company that's in production, but it's already production. So I don't know, just a thought there. If you wanna,
Yeah,
it's not AI specific. Let me know if that would be of interest to you, so we
that
can
would be
connect that.
awesome. Yeah, may I contact
I
you
can make,
after?
yeah, I can make the connection for you guys.
Thank you, Kate. Yeah, appreciate it.
And so,
Looks
yeah,
like
just to add on that, go ahead.
sorry, Rachel. Yeah, just looking at the agenda for the CC Summit next week, we do have a talk on genome, enhanced genome epidemiology with confidential compute that's given by Pulmona Pathogenomics. So there is a talk there that has a person associated with it. I don't see AI tied to it, but it definitely focuses on the use case. There may be an opportunity to reach out to that speaker and get some insights.
Thank you.
And that should be
Yeah,
published online. So let me get the link for you and I'll drop it in the chat.
great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so another example I can think of is one of the largest healthcare companies in Germany, and then they currently utilize computational computing technologies, and their use case is multi-party computing, and then to really kind of help them process insurance claims. And there's an article about that as well, so I can share that with you. Hopefully that's helpful to you.
Thank you, Rachel. That would be awesome. Great. Kate, so should I wait for you to get back to me with these leads?
Yeah, I can kind of bring you guys in the group chat, and also Mark, if you can find the link or remind me which session was, then I can just link that to the email. But yeah, I think that's
Right.
good. Anyone else wants to participate or just provide a source or use case that might be able to include or reference?
This is great. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
No problem. And then also I'll keep you in mind if anything else come up from mine as well, and I'm just I will make the connection for you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kate.
I'm
Thanks,
looking forward to
everyone.
the future.
Yeah. Have a good
Thank
day,
you.
everyone.
Thanks for
Yeah,
joining.
sure. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. That's good. Thanks, everybody. Moving on. Okay. So CC Summit is already next week, and it's right away in the corner. So for CC Summit, I thought it would be helpful to go over the preview of what everything CCC is doing at this conference. So we will have booth space, right? But at the booth space, this is more of a one big giant ballroom kind of a style. It's not like the trade show style. It's going to be rather smaller scale. So it's very intimate, and a lot of people do get to interact. And here at the booth, I think it would be very beneficial for our projects or our SIG or any type of member company who may not be exhibiting there, because a lot of the member companies are exhibiting there, actually sponsoring. So I feel like that would be a great content and staff to man the booth, and Rian is coordinating it at the moment. So would definitely love to see our projects there. And I asked Dan if they can fit me into the TAG meeting tomorrow to kind of go over a couple of things that I'm going to be talking about today. So I will definitely get some help from other committee as well. On stage, we have quite a bit of talk that's happening from CCC involvement. So Mike Bursell is doing the keynote on talking about the confidential computing and our CCC ecosystem. Sal is moderating an AI regulations panel. We have, I believe, 4 different panelists there. So that's happening. We have 2 breakout sessions, and we have opened the CFP to our member companies, and we went through the scoring practice, and these 2 talks are what's been scored the highest. So that would be representing CCC and showcase their work there. Last but not least, we Mike had panel submitted for a session, but it was accepted as the poster panel. So as you can imagine, this poster might not be the best place for the panel format. So Mike negotiated and we worked it out to make it a 20 minutes recording of this panel discussion. So I think Mark, you are involved in this, but we will have a poster ready in and on site so that, some of the information that people can see, but the recording, I believe, will be available on the day of conference for the poster sessions only. All the other on-demand session will be 2 weeks after, but that's basically what we have in terms of a speaking engagement. And Mike, Sal, Leo, and I are co-chairing some keynotes and a lot of breakout sessions. So we will be introducing speakers as well as moderating questions. So that's how we are contributing as the co-host as well. Can we move on to the next slide, actually? Oh, yeah. So I hope you can see it, but at the bottom part and then on the left, right bottom corner is where all the sponsors and their table locations are going to be. As you can see, a lot of members are present here. So for those who do not have a physical table space or whatnot, definitely leverage the CCC space and let Rian know if you would like to participate at the booth. But this is basically the main hall where the lunch will be happening, and all the socializing, and also the poster session will be happening, as well as the sponsor booth, which is sort of the expo hall vibe. Next slide. Was there any question? Okay. And so yesterday we had a
Kate, do we have any idea of how many people have registered and what that looks like?
Yeah, I was just about to mention.
Sorry.
So no. Rian and I were in the meeting and with OPEG, and Rian, correct me if I'm wrong. I remember 240 or something. Am I totally off? Or...
Yes, that's about right.
Okay. So we heard 240 yesterday. And this is the number, that's the reason why I kind of put this slide up here. They have, so this is kind of far from our original goal, right? Or not our goal. I mean, we collaboratively thought about this number 500 with the OPE, and with CCC community, they're wanting to tap into our network and our community as well. So, and they dropped this price to 50% for the CCC community only. And I don't know, I'm not aware of any other or sponsors or any other community that gets this as well. But what I want to encourage everyone is, I know some of you, we don't have a huge participation today, but if you are listening to it or reviewing the minute after the call, I would strongly encourage you to socialize the Computational Computing Summit. We, as you know, we have tons of great talks lined up. Would really love more eyes and more people hearing on site and interact with, you know, all the experts in the conference in real time. I think that would be really great, and I would love for our communities to help bring in more people, and especially with the 50% offering is pretty good offering. I know the price jumped up quite a bit from last year, but any question or comment?
Yes. So in terms of socializing, we're talking about like social media as well. Posting, is this something that we want? Because we have as a sponsor, so from our side, I already gave our social media team within AMD to start posting on the AMD account. So
Mhm.
is this something that we want to, like, just if you can give us the soundbox of what can or cannot be done with this discount and
Oh,
messaging?
yeah. I'm gonna get the CCC promo kit, which is a Google Doc with, you know, all the language and, you know, just quick grabbable copy and image and all that. But
Okay.
I think at this stage, I think what could go parallel is if if you have a network that you think that would really enjoy this content, or you want to invite them, I think, you know, those kind of personal outreach would be much helpful as well.
Oh, absolutely. That's I've done that as well for the discount that came with AMD sponsorship, but I'll definitely use that as well.
Nice. Okay, great. That would be helpful in trying to find the promo kit. Any questions or comments?
Yeah, Kate, can you share that promo code with me as well? I'm happy to help.
Yeah, I just posted on the chat.
Awesome.
So,
Thank
yeah.
Do you, Kate, do you know if they're going to retroactively discount the people who signed up at full price?
You know, so I was thinking the same thing. And actually they will. I don't want to advertise it. I think they would if people come back.
Yeah, I mean,
And
usually it goes in the opposite direction, which is you get the steep discount for signing up early, and then it gets more expensive as you go into the day of the show.
correct. But they do understand the situation, and then they wanted to drive the registration at you know, as we're very, very close. They actually gave it to us, this code later last week. So it, you know, we didn't really have a lot of time, but you know. So if it happens to be there was any, like, you know, people requests for retro refund of the portion, I think that's something that they can discuss.
Yeah, just a general note, and I agree with Mike's comment. I mean, it's for future considerations, like it's something to plan properly on the pricing of it. So it was a little bit steep,
Yeah.
I have to say, the comments I had.
I agree with you.
So I do notice that for the CCC, for CC Summit, there was like early bird discount. Oh, sorry, early bird pricing that was like much cheaper, like before if you book like a couple months ahead of time, and now it's getting more expensive. So that's the price I see, but definitely for a discount, this is pretty deep discount.
Yeah, and just, you know, granted, this is the second year that they're hosting, and so, you know, every year we're evolving, I guess, and we're learning from our own experience. Okay. Thank you all for considering, and yeah, let's fill the room. Okay, but no other questions, can go to the next. Oh yeah, and this you cannot forget. So we are bringing back the member happy hour. Last year we did it like day before the event, and we had a great turnout. A lot of members really appreciated the face-to-face time together, and it was very informal. And we were in the rooftop, beautiful view, but it was pretty chilly. So I'm bringing back into inside, indoor. We picked speakeasy place that's right around the corner of Hilton, where the conference is. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have a lot of special like drinks and lots of food and stuff. And then best part is you get to meet everybody there. So feel free to invite anybody that you know that are going to be in town. It doesn't have to be a member. This is basically, you know, a place for anybody who is interested or wanting to know or are in the computational computing space. Everyone's welcome here. So feel free to share the link. The space is limited, but as far as the registration goes, I've capped it at I think 50, and we are at 30 at the moment. So 20 more to go.
I'll try to make it. My flight from Toronto will be a little bit late, but we'll see if I can.
Oh,
Yeah, that's all
yes.
right. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward. Yeah.
And leftover liquor will be distributed at future outreach committee meetings. Yes.
Mike, you should really come to these. I'm starting
Breakfast,
to wondering.
They never
can
let
you-
me out of the house.
Kate, can you drop that link for the happy hour in the chat?
Oh, yeah.
Widget? Thanks.
Yes.
And is like if folks from your company is attending the event, is this only for CCC members, like members of the board, members of the outreach, CC and the TAC, or is it open to all members of the company?
Yeah, I think open to all members of the company. Like I said, anyone
Okay.
that are member companies, but also aspiring members too. Like we would love to have somebody, or last year we had several like academia joining us at the happy hour, and they were able to make connections and meet people. So really it's for the community and anybody who wants to know more about or talk to CCC members. I think this would be a great place. It's very informal, as you remember.
Yeah. Perfect.
Oh, thanks, Rian. It took me a while to find that link. Okay. Next slide. Okay, so event speakership that's open as of now. So we have 2 that are upcoming. So, and I want to take this opportunity to talk to y'all. So we had sponsored Tech Summit this year. We sponsored all 3 series. This is the last piece in that 3 conferences, which is happening in Singapore. We have only participated in the Singapore one last year, and our feedback from the participants from CCC side, which I think it was, you know, it was Mike Purcell and Richard from Cortanix. And we had Intel, Secretarium. I want to say Microsoft, but I'm kind of scrambling in my head. But we got a great feedback, and then a lot of members actually, and we brought up this conversation to this call as well. And we decided to move forward with all 3 series. So this is the last piece, and it's happening in Asia Pacific region. And we would definitely love to leverage the member companies who are based in this region. I am, you know, I know one of the Intel person that I connected who are based in Singapore who can cover this confidential computing topic. That's definitely happening. So if your team, you have a team that are based in the Asia Pacific region that are close to get to, or the company that are based in Asia Pacific and operated in that region, I think this would be a great place to go. This conference is also pretty tight knit. It's about, last year it was just over 200 attendees. It's more targeting I believe it's more of, government and banking industry, finance industry, and, those kind of vertical sections of the PET. So yeah, this is a slightly different, and then we do have a preset topics that we kind of, worked it out with the organizer. So it would be, I mean, you don't need to come up with everything on your own. That's what I'm trying to say. So that's available here, and would love you guys' support and participation if you're interested. Any question on the Pet Summit?
What's the audience and the type of talks? Is it more technical, business, mix of both?
I would say it's definitely a business oriented, and it's not so much technical, but
Mhm.
I will have to, I have some data set that I got from the organizer. I'll dig in and maybe I'll share in the meeting minute when Rian sends out.
Okay, and that'll be great because I mentioned that internally in the first question I got was like, what's the type of audience and type of content? So I can see if there are participants. We have a couple of people in the APAC region that
They
could
tend
potentially.
to, yeah, and these
Yeah.
the pet summits tend to be more established than like Confidential Computing Summit,
Mhm.
because and broader based. You're going to have more different types of technologies on display there. There's usually a strong homomorphic encryption contingent there, secure multi-party compute, all are there, but it's the audience that shows either are wanting to deploy, develop, research this class of technology. So they tend to be a pretty good investment if you can get to them.
Okay.
I mean, you will learn a lot about the competing technologies even if you don't pull a lot of confidential computing prospects. But with the right
No,
investment, we can do both.
I agree, and I had a quick look. It was more just on the type of audience for me to know who to ask internally, who can join, if there is availability, of course. Sorry, just the deadline. Just to clarify on the deadline set. That's for set topic for participation. What's
Yes,
this
yes, correct.
June? Okay. all right,
Yeah,
okay.
so the conference is July 16, and technically we're supposed to provide the organizer with all the like speaker information and all of that, but that's the deadline that we set ourselves internally, and we want to get that information to the organizer at least by that time. So that's what the deadline for the form. That's what it's for. And another engagement that we're planning that's on the list is the OSS Open Source Summit EU that's happening in Vienna, Austria. We are hosting a mini summit. We have hosted the mini summit. It's a half day long. It's last year, there were a lot of great participation from our EU community, and also from the US. We are able to accommodate a lot of talks in our summit because it's our own. So we have 1:30 to 5, so we can accommodate 6 talks of 30 minutes talks. So that's what it's asking. This is free form. You pick your topic and abstract whatever you want to cover at this mini summit and the open source summit. So that's what this forum is about, and that's happening in September. And while we're on this kind of a topic, I would love to, after CC Summit, after, I'm able to take a breath a little bit, I would love to go over the second half of the event and see where we can strategize our activation there. I think that would be very helpful to get your input. Okay, next. This is just a list of things for your information. Mike and Manu from Hashmesh just did a panel with, and also Mark Bauer from Anjuna and they did a panel at Identiverse yesterday. And Mike is joining as a panel, and also one of the senior security researcher from Intel, and Nathaniel from ARM. I don't know if I got that name right, but they are doing the panel at Hardware I/O on June 1st, which is Saturday in Santa Clara. So that's happening. And then shortly after, CC Summit. Black Hat, by the way, might not be happening. I was exploring and the price point was way, way, way higher. I am asking if they have offerings for a nonprofit or any other kind of a discount or some such. So stay tuned, but the price range was way too high for us to pursue. So that's just quick FYI. Okay, next slide, please. For the web presence, so I thought this might be a good opportunity to remind. So I know Jen's here, right? Jen's able to maybe speak to the committee, what's the best way to do it. But in the past, we have, quick social repost or social media post request. There's a social media channel that we use quite often. And we also, Jen created this submission link on the website that we can receive the long form content such as blogs or any type of webinar, or white paper, report, whatever that we want to publish via website. It is available here, and the only intention is that we want to make it easier for the member to send those things to to the right party easily, because before, who do I send it to? Is it you? Is it Rion? Is it so? In the end, it will come to the right place to Jen. But this is one place. It's available. It's on the website, and we also share it in these meetings as well. So that's the only reason why. And Slack channels. Anything, Jen, you need for you in terms of you're looking at the content calendar and what's coming up, and what is kind of an area or topics that you are looking for members' participation?
Yeah, so thanks. So I did put the last 4 months of analytics on those links if anybody's interested to kind of see how things are trending. Particularly this last month, much of our activity was obviously based around promoting the events and so forth. And as we kind of come out of the backside of that into the summer months, it would be great to have people either write blogs based off of some of the sessions you're giving. If you have any recordings for your webinars, we can always repost those and create short blog posts from them. But really, I think what we really want to focus on over the summer, honestly, is just trying to grow our social presence. So all of the events are being posted at least once a week, sometimes twice as we get close to a particular event. And we're getting some good traction from those. Our page views on LinkedIn keep growing every month. We're up about 20% this month on page views. Where I would love to see us really grow is on reposting. So for example, whenever Sal or Mike repost on their own social channels, we get a lot more activity. So what I would just kind of share with this group is when you hit LinkedIn or Twitter, if you can repost what we're putting up there, it'll really help grow the community. So that'd be kind of the first thing, is repost. Second of all, now that we're kind of getting past some of these events, I'd like to kind of focus on some key content areas. So as you were thinking about what you all want to talk about, if anybody wants to do kind of a short meeting and kind of plan some things out, it's great to kind of do things, if possible, in a series, or maybe 2 areas of focus that we have multiple blog posts about a particular topic of interest to your community, that also kind of gets people to start to realize, oh, I need to go check out what they've got posted on LinkedIn. So we become the go-to place, right, for some particular areas. So that would be kind of my words of advice, if you will. Our promotions have done very well. Happy hour is doing well. So it's good to see that that number's getting close for you all. And one of these days would love to attend one of your sessions and get to know you all a little bit better. But things are steadily growing.
A quick question on the social posts. Do we get heads up, like, so just to amplify the effect? So because typically when it's sent, someone is posting one of the chairs, if we do it within the couple of hours, that typically amplifies, obviously stronger. I found that typically has stronger impact than just
Yes.
me connecting to LinkedIn and just like, oh, it's there. I mean, I check every time, but instead of ad hoc, maybe more coordinated or orchestrated posting. If it's already happening, I apologize if it's already done.
No worries. So on the marketing outreach Slack channel, I have been putting our LinkedIn and Twitter X posts, particularly around promoting happy hour and the summit itself. I think maybe, Kate, one of the things we could maybe shift to is, because I'm kind of looking through it again, in some cases you're pinging me directly on the marketing outreach, and maybe we shouldn't do that. We should just do it more direct so that they just see the post that they need to amplify. I don't know if that would be cleaner for folks. I'm happy to do whatever, but I have been posting them on the marketing outreach.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand. What do you mean by direct?
Well, I'm just, like I said, I'm just looking at the feed, and there's a couple things where you're like, hey, Jen, did this ever come through or that ever come through? And I'm just wondering if that confuses the group to not think to go to the outreach channel when I'm posting, when I'm setting up the posts.
I don't think so.
Okay.
You're
Just
talking
asking.
about the marketing outreach channel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one has only 9 people, and that one originally was created for talking about the web presence, I think, in general. And there were, HL, for example, who is leading that web presence strategy, and several other folks joined. But in terms of social media, there is a social media channel, separate channel that members had been using and has 40 people in it. So that might be good to, you join and kind of share those in that channel.
Okay. I didn't have that channel, so let me go add that. So to answer your question, long-winded, yes, I will use the social media channel to share with you all what I'm posting, and that way it's easier for you to grab it and go.
Yeah, I'm gonna copy the link.
Yep. Nope, I found it. So
Actually, it would be useful for me because I don't think I'm on any of the yet on Slack. That's on Slack, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you planning on using Slack? We're much
Yeah.
faster in here.
I'm multi-tools, no worries. I'll have multiple,
Yeah.
no worries.
Okay, great. Glad we had that clarification. Didn't know that you guys had a social media channel. Perfect.
Great, thank you. Oh, this was from HL's presentation a couple of meetings back. It was talking about, when we're thinking about the creating content, she kind of put this together to, think about who we are writing this for and what type of trend that she's seeing in this specific kind of a funnel. So I included there for everyone's review. We can kind of skip through it, Leon. Okay. I know I think that this one is the last one. Do you mind clicking on that coordination document? I want to see who we have actually. Wow. Okay, we have a lot of outreach members, which is great. Okay, so Rian, is it likely to be scheduled tomorrow after
So,
tech meeting?
I have scheduled it for tomorrow after the tag meeting. I have not checked how much response I got. I don't know if you just scroll down a little bit more.
Oh,
There's another,
I
there's
didn't
another panel.
see the invite.
Maybe your junk mail again. I'll check and see it and just resend to you. So then if you just scroll down a little bit, there's another table where I asked people to put their names in. So we already have 4 yeses for either time that I proposed. So the idea is, I think I made a mistake on the time zone there, as Rachel pointed out, but it's directly after the TAC meeting tomorrow. So what I would propose, we've been trying to get this going for a while now. So I would propose we have the meeting tomorrow. I kindly said he would be happy to lead it. See what we can get it kicked off, and if need be, at the moment it's scheduled for every week. And then in the meeting we can discuss what would make most sense for people to get involved, synchronous, asynchronous, weekly meeting, whatever would work for the team.
Right. I mean, if it's helpful, Ab, I know you volunteered to lead this this initiative. Tomorrow, okay, so we're gonna have a kickoff call, and I know there are some write-ups from from I think all of us, and thank you, Rian, for putting everything together. But is there specific things that you want to kind of take away from tomorrow's meeting, like agenda, for example?
Yeah, I'll propose something, but I think as a kickoff is really to I think the scope is something that I find a little bit too narrow. I would like to discuss that with the group. So the scope and logistics, these are the 2 things I would like by the end of the meeting. That would be, I think, would be good outcome. And then obviously we'll see what the best way to coordinate. But that would be for me the kickoff is really be clear on finalize the scope. I like what was proposed, but as I said, if we can expand it slightly, it will be, in my opinion, better. Or we can phase things as well. Like I don't want to boil the ocean and try to do everything in one kind of initiative. We can keep it web-based, but definitely something that I put it in the comments somewhere. I think below on the but yeah, so scope and logistics and how we're gonna proceed, because we have to take some initial report to the board on June 24th, Rian?
Yes,
The meeting,
next
the next,
board meeting of June 24th.
Yeah.
So initially where we are, and then reconsider the
Yeah.
scope with the board.
Yeah, so these are the things that and also maybe some questions as well to obviously if it's just the web, okay, we'll figure out. But if we expand the if we decide collectively, obviously as a group, to expand a little bit the scope to see what if there are opportunities for some budget, whether it's an audit, brand audit, or something like that. I mean, maybe it's needed or not. Anyway, just kind of
Yeah,
these are the things I would like to touch on
makes sense.
if we yeah.
Rian, also I'm looking at the names. I know this was brought up from the board level, and I know some of the board member who is in that meeting probably would love to participate in this, or what's your take on it?
What I could do is, that's a good point. So what I'll do is I'm not going to add them directly to the meeting. I'll send out an email today to the board members with a link to the meetings in our calendar, and invite them to join the meeting.
Yeah, I think it would be important to have each committee rep participating in this discussion, not just getting the reporting back, but, actually working together in the real time. I think that would be helpful. And just looking at it, I see a lot of outreach in some tech, but I don't see much of a governing board presence.
I'll send that. Thanks, Brad.
Okay, I think that's it. Do we have more?
Yeah, and then just as I mentioned in the email, I'm happy to help you as well. Anything
Yeah,
that
that'd be
you want
great, please.
help
Yeah,
with,
by all means.
and happy to jump in and help you.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks a lot, Rachel. Definitely, it's definitely a big task. So, this is coordination. It's a group work, so that's how I see it. So, not definitely welcome.
Yeah, sure thing. Happy to help.
Great.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thanks for that. I have one other business topic just before we close. If there's no other comments. Okay. I don't think I've announced it in the outreach meetings. There was a very nice update done to the LFX meeting platform that we use for our meetings. And I added an embedded calendar to the CCC website. So if you go to CCC's website and you go to get involved and you click on calendar, you will actually find a calendar with our meeting events with the links to join, because previously it was a little hard to join the meetings. So you can share the calendar with anybody. They can join from there. They can add it to their calendar from there. Great new development. Sorry, I forgot to tell you about it in the last meeting.
Yeah, I had to look at it. Great. Thanks a lot. That was really helpful as well for me for my own planning. So, thank you.
Does anyone else have anything to share or question?
I don't know if this falls under social or marketing, probably marketing, Kate. So is this an okay time to talk about
Yeah.
CC Summit? Ask a quick question. Perfect. So this is Laura from NVIDIA, and I will be presenting at CC Summit on specific use cases of confidential computing and how confidential computing has actually changed the world in ways for good. And so that's what the presentation's about. I have quite a few of our partners that are participating in this conversation. They've sent me some, stats, etc. So I don't know. Obviously, we're not meeting next week because we'll be at CC Summit shortly after this meeting. And also, we only meet every other week. But if there are examples of confidential computing that you want to share with me that are public, of course, or are willing to be public, that might not yet be public, I would love to include that in my presentation. Right now, I have about probably about 12 customer examples where confidential computing has literally changed the way that they do business, the way they exchange data, or they've actually impacted the world for good. And so if you have something that you would like me to include in my presentation, I, of course, will give attribution to you or to the company that you're advocating for. And that's it. I'm still working on my slides for next week. So now everybody knows.
Hey, Laura, you might want to check out our Hope for Justice case
Oh,
study.
I already was going to include them because it's so amazing. In fact, they're the second case study because it's such a heavy one. But thanks, Mike. I love that. Yeah. And I'm going to give attribution to the CPUs and how, no offense, AMD, but Intel was the first to market with this on the client. And then, of course, on the data center. And I'll give attribution to each of the companies that have worked on confidential computing use cases. So this is also raising my hand. If there's anything really cool that's been done on S&P, I'm happy to include those use cases as well. I don't have any examples presently, so that's why this is just letting everybody know that I'm happy to include those AMD use cases. I can't find any.
I'll see what I can provide you, Laura. And by the way,
Thanks.
that Group for Justice, I saw the presentation and in the conference a couple months ago, and it was just amazing. So it's all good, and we are here for the ecosystem. So like whatever
Yeah,
helps the
yeah.
ecosystem down. No offense taken, whatever helps confidential computing. So no, we're here to make the ecosystem more secure and protect the data of people. And that example was just. I was a little bit emotional actually when I heard that presentation, what they've done. It's quite amazing. So no, absolutely. So we'll actually kudos to everybody involved, whether from Intel or else or anybody else on that project.
Wait, so was that you, Mike, that gave that presentation? What presentation was it? I wasn't familiar with that. I missed it.
It was at OC3.
At OC3.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
go and look that up.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, to me, it was a very amazing and beautiful way that we're literally impacting the world for good, that technology is
Absolutely.
literally changing
Yeah.
it at the individual level. And so that's why it's actually, I'll talk first about the platform and then I'll talk about that use case because it is going to bring a lot of emotion to the room. And I don't want to end my presentation on Hope Justice. I want to start with that.
Well,
and
it's-
then my,
yeah,
my other ones will be happy.
This is the problem with that case study, which is it's about human trafficking,
Again, yeah.
And so, yeah, it's if you ever want to like kill the mood in the room, that's a good one.
It's a tough one, but honestly, it's positive emotion in a sense, not obviously
Yeah.
about the topic, but the fact that how technology helped them, and but it is a heavy topic, granted, yeah.
I'm excited to actually listen to that recording, so I'll listen to that today. But yeah, thank you guys. I'm super stoked. And Mike, I would love to connect with you, and I can do that offline. I'm going to share my presentation with you and with Kate, and so I can also share it with Jesse and other folks. But so that way you can see what I'm presenting on, because a good portion of the really impactful stories do come from Intel's work in this space.
Okay. Sounds good.
Hopefully tomorrow, guys. Hopefully by tomorrow. Shoot.
And thank you, Laura, for your kindness. I know this session was what I was talking about, the breakout session earlier. So Laura's session was actually one of the top 2, but Laura graciously, using one of the NVIDIA session slot and then leave to the 3rd place. So that's how we were able to coordinate more talks around these. So thank you so much for doing so. And thank you for including all these amazing use cases. Cannot wait for this session already.
Yeah, I'm sorry, just
Yeah,
quick
sure.
note. Laura, just to make sure I help with to find the right use cases for can you shoot me an email or just kind of what type of, just to make sure it fits it with what you're looking for. So I'm just putting my email address here in the chat. So by all
Awesome.
means.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'll do that right now after our
Sure.
meeting.
Thanks.
So I'm
Yeah,
paying
of course.
attention.
Thanks.
All right. I know Mark just dropped, but I know Mike has overlapped quite a bit of time here with Helen. I don't know anybody else has, but Helen, do you want to speak?
I just want everyone to know that next week will be my last, next Thursday will be my last day with the Linux Foundation. And I just want everyone to know that it was great to work with you all. And I hope that we can keep in touch.
Yeah, Helen has been working on CCC project for over 2 years, right? Ever since you joined the Linux Foundation.
Yep, over
Yeah.
2 years now.
And yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for all the work that you did. And I know a lot of you may not have crossed paths because she just went on the maternity leave and came back. So was out for 5 months, but yeah, she was definitely a strong foundation how our CCC project was able to, move forward and get a lot of stuff on track. And so I just wanted to say thank you and yeah, all the best.
Yep. Thanks, Helen. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks,
I'm not
Helen.
going far.
Helen.
Thanks, Laura. I'm glad to see you're back.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind. Well, we'll miss you. I won't know who to search for in my emails. If it, I get an email and I'm like, oh, I need to look for Helen's email.
It'll be Rion now.
Okay, great. Well, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you in the CC Summit or the next call.
We'll have a nice
Awesome.
summit.
Thank you,
Thank
Kate.
you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.